Hi, and welcome to Wanderlost. My name is Amanda, and I want to show you guys a spreadsheet that I found. This should be me enough out of the way right now, but this spreadsheet, I've named it the AT Prep spreadsheet. I forgot what the original name of it was, but I'm going to link down below the article that I found where this spreadsheet was. So this person was getting ready to hike the AT in 2023 or 2024. I can't remember what year, but she was getting ready to hike and she created this spreadsheet and wrote an article about it and said, I'm sharing this if anybody wants to have it. So I got it from her. And then I went through and took everything out that was like her thing that she had put in there. And I added a few more things that are mine, but I think I'm still going to keep adding more things. So if anybody has any suggestions about things that I can put in different parts of the spreadsheet, let me know. I'm going to walk through it really quickly with you. This is like an overview of milestones that she had come up with. And I took some of them out that didn't apply to me and put a few of them in that did apply to me. So right now, the main things that I'm working on are the ones that are up here in the 6 month. Let me try to make it even bigger. There we go. In the 6 months or before start. And I put 6 months before I take the trip is August of 2026, which I know is 18 months from now. And that doesn't matter to me because that's why I said 6 months or more before I start. I need to set a trip budget. I just added that I wanted to organize channel upkeep. Now, I have 4 YouTube channels that I am responsible for. I don't know why I said responsible for. They're my channels. I have 4 of them. And this channel is going to be easy to keep up with because I'm literally going to be filming my hike and all of that. But 2 of them are gaming channels, and I've got to decide how I want things to look in my absence and what is going to be happening with it. And there is even the possibility that I could film things over the next 2 years for those 2 channels and have them to the side or secret or whatever, and then have those play on the channels while I'm on the trail, just so there's still things happening on the channels. Because if any of you are YouTubers, you know that it is very easy for things to, let's just say it's very easy for YouTube to be like, oh, you're not posting videos anymore. Let's never show your stuff to anybody. But if you are posting videos consistently, then you consistently get shown to people. One of my channels is about reading books, and I'm going to be reading tons of books on the AT. So I'm not super concerned about that one either. I should be able to do little short videos that are going to get posted the whole time on that channel. So it's really just the 2 gaming channels that I'm not sure how I'm going to keep those going. But anyway, that was just one that popped into my head that I just wrote down here because I need to think through that a little bit more. So set a trip budget. So she already did part of that, which we'll see in just a second. So I mostly need to just start saving money for that trip budget. Then she suggested quite a few books, but I think I'm definitely going to read Long Trails, Mastering the Art of the Thru Hike is what it's called. And I want to read that book. I think I'm going to order a physical copy of it so I can like mark it up and write in it. That's where she got this idea of the milestones, what we're looking at right now on this page. And then she found a outdoor and through hiking 101 course and even linked it over here on the thing. So it's a 6-week online class covering everything you need to know to plan and finish the long distance hikes. So I want to take that sooner rather than later, since it has things in there to help you plan for the hike. So that is my plan, to start working slowly on those things even right now, 24 months out. Then 3 months before I start, which is November to December time frame to 2026, contact the Appalachian Trail Conservancy to get the women hiker listserv. So you can find out other women who are going to be hiking the AT and see when they're starting and discuss all of that kind of stuff, how you want to hang out together so that you're not hiking alone, which is not always safe. Start consistently going on daily walks. I'm actually going to start that right now, but this specifically, she added another little thing that said aim for 10,000 steps a day on average each week. So we'll see what that's going to look like at that moment. November, December in Virginia is going to be cold, but not too cold that I can't go walk. Finalize preliminary itinerary, including the resupply points. This one, select milestone locations and build out a skeleton schedule. That's going to be important for me as well because my husband is going to be sending me resupplies. And so that's probably something that needs to be done 3 months out, is creating the resupply boxes or something. Confirm support team and roles. That is happening here. I have people that are going to walk with me for certain sections. They're going to come join me and do certain sections of the hike. And so I am excited to do that part, but also I got to get it all organized and who's going to be doing what part and all that. But I don't have to worry about that yet. That is a future me problem. Set contingency plans, that's spelled wrong, there we go, in case of emergency, and establish get off the trail immediate events. So what could cause me to get off the trail immediately, and what am I going to do if there is an emergency? That's got to be done. Make starting plans, arriving in Georgia, transportation to the trailhead, etc. Make sure have shoes that you plan to hike in and a backup pair. So she wrote buy another pair of Ultras. I don't know what shoes I'm going to use yet, so we'll find out. This I love. 2 months before startup, practice setting up your shelter and breaking it down. Aim to get to 5 minutes. So I don't know why I never thought about practicing, but practicing would make me feel so much more comfortable if I'm coming into camp one night and it's like getting dark or it's later. I feel like I would be arguing with myself, like, you could just stay in the shelter, but I don't want to stay in the shelters. I stayed in a couple of shelters on the AT, and I have heard so many horror stories about the mice and the rats that if I can set up my camp, I'm setting up my camp. Like, that's it. If I physically cannot set it up, then I will sleep in a shelter. Otherwise, I want to set up the tent and stay in the tent. So I need it to be easy and fast and something that I don't have to think about the steps to do when I am like mentally and physically tired. This one I liked. Also, she got it from Mastering the Art of the Thru Hike, but it says write a letter to myself for on the trail so that I can read. And I was thinking about writing a few of these actually on the trail. And just having them, because they're just going to be sheets of paper. They're not going to take up that much space, but having them in a thing in my backpack to read periodically as I'm on the trail. So I think I might do that. Share tentative schedule with friends and family to sign up as wanted. So I'm probably going to do that before December, January, just because that's only giving people like a month or two to organize a bunch of stuff that they need to do if they're going to be hiking with me for longer than a week. I mean, a week hike, if you're used to hiking, you probably have the stuff you need for that. So we'll see. Begin to practice packing and unpacking your gear daily. I love this. Pack all gear before a walk, and then unpack all your gear. So I think that is a really good plan to practice that, as well as practicing setting up the shelter and breaking it down. Begin taking practice day hikes and weekend trips with a full pack. And she said the goal is to start conditioning about 6 months beforehand and try to have pack weight equal to target base weight. I am going to start conditioning now, but that's because I have a long way to go to feel comfortable being on the trail. So I'm starting my conditioning stuff now, but I'm not going to be using the full pack until probably a couple of months before. Although I am going to be taking day trips and overnights every month once we get to Virginia. So develop a list of supplies needed for mail drop resupplies. So that's in the 2 month, not the 3 month. So I should be good to do that anyway. Refresh on outdoor skills and safety. Consider a wilderness first aid course or something. I thought that was a really good idea to look that up and see if I can find one in my area. I'm sure I can because I'm going to be living in Virginia, and I'm sure REI in the area will have some kind of resources to find a wilderness first aid class. Cull any gear that seems less important and make modifications as needed. Then 1 month before, start an itinerary with the support team, share itinerary with the support team, host support team meeting to answer any questions, and have my last day of work. And then 1 week before, pack my backpack with a gear list, confirm you have what you need. I love this. Travel to Georgia, unpack and confirm you have everything, and then start the trail. These are all the milestones that I will be trying to hit over the next, well, really, I'm not only doing this top section for the next year, possibly year and a half. But I'm going to take you along. We're going to take the outdoor course. We're going to read the Mastering the Art of the Through Hike. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do about my channels, and I'm going to start a budget. And so those are going to be the 4 goals that I have that we're going to be checking in with every month to see how it's going. Now, then she has this. I still haven't figured out how to change this calendar to update it to now. Clearly, I can see right here, she started walking in 2024, in April of 2024. I changed it to February of 2027, and it didn't change anything. It just changed this. So clearly, this is not, this was something she made and not like a table that will reset itself. So the calendar is off, but hopefully I can get something done with it to use it in my thing. Anyway, she does have this broken down into 9 sections, which I love so much. Like, I think I'm going to use this breakdown for a lot of what I'm doing. Can you still read it? Yes. She does have approximate number of days that it's going to take to do this, but that's probably based off of her hiking, because this right here says the first one is 241 miles and she's going to do it in 20 days. That's more than 10 miles a day. And I just don't think I'm doing that at the beginning. So I'm going to have to break this down into smaller steps or smaller sections, because I don't want to say to people that are hiking with me, like, hey, you've got to come 241 miles to hike. So I want it to be smaller chunks and smaller segments. So when people come to hike with me, they know how far they're hiking. And also I know like where they can get on the trail and where they can get off the trail. So I've got to do all that, but that's got to come when I get the AT prep book, the actual like walk through all of that stuff. So this is just a rough estimate / overview of all the sections of the trail and how it's going to go. Now, she does have this. Let me move this. If you put that you're leaving, like I'm leaving on February 1st, 2027, and I want to end on, let's say, September 12th, that's my parents' anniversary, that's 224 days, and I'm averaging 12 miles per day. Okay, so if I say I'm averaging 9 miles a day, it'll tell me, it changes the number. Oh, I'm blocking it. It changes the number of days that it takes me to do it. So if I say I want to average, well, at the beginning, I'm going to average probably 8 miles a day. It's going to take me 30 days to do the first section. But then by the end, if I'm averaging 15 miles a day, it's only going to take me 18 days to do the final section. So that is going to depend on like how my legs are holding up and how I'm feeling about things. I know that some people do consistently 20 miles a day, but I don't think that's going to be me. So anyway, and then it'll tell you the total number of days is 131. I'm wondering if I can lock these in. And so say like at the beginning, I will average lower days and at the end average higher days and see how many days that'll take. I can play around with it and try to do something else like that. And we'll just see what happens. So those are my breakdowns, and I'm going to break them down even further. But then we have on trail gear list, and I left what she had on here for a lot of these, but not the specific type that she had. And over here, this is actually a graph. So if I say, let's say that the sunscreen weighs, I don't know, 0.5 ounces, it starts to come over here. These are health and safety. And then let's say the carabiners are 0.3 ounces. So now utility is listed on here. Let's say our tent is 5 ounces. Shelter. Oh, that was not my tent. Sorry. My tent is 5 ounces. There we go. So now that's part of the shelter. And then my clothes down here, let's say my socks are that much. So there we go. Anyway, it just starts filling it out with proportion of the weight by category. And then down here at the bottom, it gives me the total amount in ounces and what that works out to in pounds. And so that is going to be very useful when I'm going through and doing all this. And we also have a category and a description and then the total weight for everything. She does say that there's a thing called Lighter Pack. You can create an account and store different pack combinations on their site, and it'll tell you like how much your pack weighs. So I'll probably be using that for sure. Then we have the trail budget and purchase tracker. So over here to the side is the setup budget that she used. And I took a few things out that I'm not going to have to worry about. Like there's a thing in there that she had for health insurance and paying certain bills. My husband's going to be home to do that. So I didn't have to worry about those things. And then she's got other things on here. And then down at the bottom, it creates a thing down here when you do the spending. So like wearables, let's say you spent $250. So that says the whole thing is 100% right there. But then preparation, let's say an outside membership was $25. So there you go. Now you can see the preparation was 9% of what you spent and 90.9 was the wearables. So that's how it goes. And I just go through and fill this out when I buy gear. So once it heats up a little bit up here in North Dakota, we're going to go outside in the garage and get the stuff that we purchased already, like all the backpacking stuff that we already have. I know that I have a backpack already, but I don't know how much it weighs. I don't know anything about it because I bought it for a weekend backpacking trip, and I was not worried about trying to get it as small as possible. I just needed a really good backpack that fit me well and didn't cause me to like lean back or anything like that. So we'll see what gear I have and then what I need to be adding. This is the hold down the fort budget. Literally, I took everything off of here that she had except medical prescriptions. I have some medicines that I have to take. So those are the only things that I need. And I mostly need that. Like I need to figure out how to get those, not so much that I need to figure out how much they cost because my husband should be able to get them for me. I guess he's just going to have to mail them to me on the trail. So we'll see about all of that as we get a little closer. I love this gear comparison thing that she did. She went through and found a bunch of different equipment and she tried a bunch of different kinds. Here's the weight that they are, the dimensions, and then the cost of it. Does she own it already or how much does it cost if she wants to buy it? And then she's even got storage volume, fill power, comfort, R value. That's mostly for sleeping bags and tents. Like how warm will they be? And then notes about it that she put over here to the side, which you can't see most of that. But anyway, I'm using this as like a jumping off point when I am getting equipment. I'm going to be looking through here. I'm probably going to have to go in and change because the prices on some of these things have probably changed since she did this, although she only did it a year and a half ago. So we might be okay. But anyway, and then the last page is just resources, things, links to things that she used and other thru hikers that she looked at, general information about things, the AT Conservancy resources. They have all of these. And then gear selection planning is here. Navigation is out here. So there's all kinds of stuff in her resources section. But that's it. That is the spreadsheet. It was a little overwhelming when I first looked at it. I've had it for a few days. I've kind of been going through and removing things that don't fit for me and trying to change some of the dates and things like that. But overall, I think it's going to be a great resource for me to use. And I'm so happy that I'm starting as early as I am. So when I check in March for my monthly check-in, you'll see what my plans are as far as those main 4 goals that I have right now for prep and just see how it's going. And also with my physical conditioning, I'm going to be checking in and talking about how that's going as well. Hopefully, maybe I'll just add a little space on my spreadsheet where I can track the physical conditioning as well. So anyway, that is going to do it though. And I will check in with you later and see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.